America is a superpower. People from poor countries want to move to this country. Why? Because the country offers so much, from job opportunities to security. And how can we forget the amazing tourist attractions in the country? But what about the infrastructure of this country? How bad is America's infrastructure? Really or not? But before we dive in, let's be clear about what is infrastructure. The infrastructure consists of all the basic things that help the civilization in daily life, such as roads, highways, bridges, buildings, transit, drinking water, energy, levees, and many more like these. As you can see, the things that are part of infrastructure are really important and part of daily life. They play a really important role when it comes to describing infrastructure. All the physical things and facilities for the civilization make infrastructure complete. The word infrastructure was introduced by the French in the late 1800s. Infra means below, whereas structure means building. As time is passing, the infrastructure of the United States of America is getting old. It's not that terrible that it will fall apart, but it will if the USA doesn't update its infrastructure before it gets worse. America was given an overall grade of D+ by the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE. The reason the quality of our infrastructure is so poor is that a lot of it is very old and is in a state of decay. More than 200,000 bridges in America are over 50 years old, and 47,000 of the bridges that are used by people living in America daily are rated as structurally deficient according to the recent data available from the Federal Highway Administration. Talking about highways, it has been declared that half of the highway fatalities in this country are due to the conditions of the roadways themselves. America is not only suffering from old bridges and poor roads, but its air traffic control system are also in severe need of updates. And as sometimes extreme weather disasters take place, the levees in American cities, which are already in need of $80 billion worth of improvement, are suffering huge failures during storms. The power grid in America was built in the 1950s and 1960s and was only meant to last 50 years, meaning our current power grid is about 20 years past its expiration date. America's people have been complaining about the infrastructure lately. Almost half of the USA schools reported issues with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. 40% of the roads have been reported as poorly conditioned. There are almost 617,000 bridges in America, and more than 200,000 bridges are over 50 years old. 47,000 of the USA bridges have been reported to be structurally deficient, which are being used by Americans daily. Still, the bridges are being used, and millions of trips are taken across these deficient bridges every day. A budget of $125 billion was estimated recently for the bridge's repair and update across the country. However, still, the rate of improvement is slow. Roads of the USA are not in good shape as well. More than 4 million miles of America's public roadways are in poor condition. Roads are one of the main things to build up a nation. The ASCE estimates getting America's road network back into shape will require a budget of about $560 billion. As we know that public transit is very important due to the current population of America, but it remains unfunded. Public transit needs to be focused more as people need to travel for work and people from other countries that are visitors need that facility for their ease. USA Transit is underdeveloped and needs a huge update. On the top, the New York City subway is the only US rail system that ranks among the 10 busiest in the world. It's been reported that $90 billion would cost to fix the transit system projects. Airports and air traffic control need a severe update. Around 2 million people come through USA airports per day. Congestion is becoming a problem on one side and has been given a grade of D by the ASCE. Around 7,000 aircraft are flying over the United States, and for the past 40 years, America is using the same old computer system to control the air traffic, known as the host. The Air Traffic Control System of America needs an update. America's drinking water comes from around 2 million miles of underground pipes, most of which are aging. Many were laid after World War II, and those pipes have a lifespan of 75 to 100 years, which means they are already at the end of their life. So the pipes need to be focused on by the USA government. Levees perform a major role to keep the people safe from the floodwater. As sometimes extreme weather disasters take place, such as storms, the levees need an improvement to overcome the floodwater breaching problem. There's a need for $80 billion to improve these levee system structures, as of the latest report. At the moment, there are no constant interruptions of power in the USA. They might increase in the future if more attention isn't given to the U.S. energy system, as the transmission and distribution lines were made in the mid-20th century and have a lifespan of 50 years. This means their age has already expired, so this needs attention as well. There's been a gap of $177 million in investment between 2016 to 2025 for electricity programs such as power lines and power plants. The USA schools are not getting properly funded by the government. 24% of the USA school buildings are not in good shape. Almost half of America's schools were reported facing issues with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. The school system of the USA needs proper attention. America's government has been funding other things over the years instead of focusing on its infrastructure. Rather than focusing on the things which are going to give advantages in the future, they are investing in other sectors, leaving infrastructure behind. The ASCE gave many ideas to overcome the problems they are facing due to the lack of attention on the infrastructure. America needs to start focusing on changing and renewing things that are aging and have expired their limit. The schools which are not getting funded should start getting attention so they can maintain the education system and the buildings as well. Make their transit system better by funding it so the people can travel with ease. They should make separate private organizations for the infrastructure work so they can get more attention. It would be better for America to start working on the infrastructure before it's too late. That's all for today's video, and thanks for watching it. If you liked it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And before you leave, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and turn on notifications to never miss any updates. I will see you in the next video. Take care and stay tuned.